Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Well, the hits just keep on coming, don't they? We have one major thing after another. Seems like every day for the last year or two we've had something major that is it pretty much, for the moment consumes our attention because it seems to be the latest threat on the horizon. Let me sit up a little bit straighter. I have a tendency to slouch when I'm sitting on this couch, but it's where I write. This is this is where I write a lot of my books, and I get all comfort. And the couch is broken down, and to where it's nice and cushy. So we got a couple of things coming up that really are going to have an effect on us in more ways than one. The first that we've talked about a little bit is that Truth Ministry, what do they call it, the Disinformation Governance Board. We know what that is all about, run by that 33-year-old wacko that El Presidente appointed through DHS. Department of Homeland Security. Remember when they put that DHS together, it was just very important that we have a Department of Homeland Security. And Bush put it through. He claimed that he didn't want to, but he bowed to Democrat pressure to put this through, and it was all to keep us nice and safe. And many people warned against it. Many people warned that we did not need a police state any more than it already was, and compared to now, it wasn't very much at all, even though some of us were thinking it was a little too strict back then, way too strict. Well, that thing has just grown and grown and grown and grown and grown, like every government agency there's ever been, because people want power over other people. People want to feel important. They want authority. The federal government wants more money. Blah, 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 right? And they want to know everything in the world that you and I are doing, and it's vitally important that they do. So now they're going to have this Disinformation Governance Board that we will see what happens with that. That comes on the heels of Musk buying Twitter. That thing's not totally done yet. The whole purchase hasn't gone through. These things take a little bit of time, and things can happen. So it'll be interesting to see if anything does happen in that regard. Regardless of what happens with that, we know that the Disinformation Governance Board is going to be a permanent part. Even if for some reason it hit a snag, it's still going to be insidious. It's going to be in there. Once the idea gets planted, an idea like that's like a seed. It grows up into a plant. It might be a big plant you can see, and it might be a little plant that goes all over the place that you can't see. We will never know, but that presents a sizable problem, and I think that we're going to see that manifest in the coming election season. That's one of the reasons that they got that thing going. The second thing is this apparent leak of this paper out of the Supreme Court, in which Alito wrote the opinion that they apparently are going to be overturning Roe. Now, we can see that as simply a political situation. But it's a lot more than that. This is what's going to be lighting the fires of what we're going to be dealing with right up until, through, and very possibly, depending on what happens with the election, far past the election. And it could be something that causes our society, our lives, our streets to be far more dangerous than they are now. How politics affects the world around us, it didn't used to be that way, to be honest. When I was young, politics were one thing. It had an effect a little bit, on street crime, but that was simply that one prosecutor was tougher on crime than another. Now we have people, prosecutors that give it the big old lay. They don't want to put people in jail if, depending on the demographics involved. We've had political pressures that have changed our society to the extent to where it's become very unsafe in many areas and for many different people. This is something that we are going to have to consider as we're coming up. I'm not sure what the situation is going to come out with the Supreme Court, whether that was true, whether that's going to have some play, whether it was let out by somebody who is, pro-Roe or anti-Roe, whether it's put out as a way to try to influence the justices, because they, as we know, they can be influenced, right? I guess the demonstrations have already started. We know that it's a short putt from a demonstration to a civil disturbance. The passions of marginal, and I would say, I better not say what I'm thinking. The passions of certain people can be inflamed to the point to where they will express themselves in ways that are dangerous to others. So my simple message today, we're already facing inflation beyond belief. We're experiencing a financial collapse that is building up speed like a snowball going down a hill. We're looking at open borders to the south. We're looking at them bringing in refugees from all over the world and dispersing them all over our country. We're looking at them wanting to start a war over in Europe. And now we have this at home. There's almost too many things to keep track of. Certainly too many things to have an effect on. And so in this case, I don't think that general and even second, third, fourth, fifth layer preparedness has ever been more important. That's all I really want to say here. Be careful where you go. Be careful what you do. Be careful what you say. And I understand. I'm just as angry about having to be careful of what we say as you are. I assure you of that. But when that's the environment we live in, that's what we do, right? When you're in the jungle, it doesn't do any good to be upset that half the things in the jungle want to kill you. You just have to be careful while you're in the jungle so that you can survive it and try to either bring it around your way, which, or get out of it. And I think those are the choices that we're going to be looking at pretty soon here. So keep an eye on things. Watch what's going on. This is the time to watch what's going on politically. I know a lot of people in the preparedness world have kind of gotten away. They don't want to have anything to do with politics. But politics is what drives the dangers in today's world, and it's what drives the threats. And keeping up with politics is simply a matter of kind of being forewarned so that you're forearmed, right? Okay. Leave it at that. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. We prepare well today in this case by being intelligent consumers and careful disseminators of information while we also work background, foreground, whatever's right for you, to change things back to the way we want them if we have to, or to prepare ourselves for the next step, whatever that may be. You all have a good day. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.